Right, I believe we are now live on all of the things.
Woo. All
Potentially.
the things.
Yeah, okay. All right, looks good, looks good.
Oh, my mic mute isn't working on my headset. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to clear my throat into everyone's ears.
Okay. No, that's okay. I heard echoes, but I think it was me. I think I had unmuted one of my tabs. But I think we're okay. Okay. My name is Mighty Beard, and today we're going to be playing some D&D. This is Agents of Beard, session number 42, titled In the Halls of Giants. And we will be reconnecting with the group that is down in the western territory of Whitmore County. We have a party that was investigating missing young Firbolgs that had left their community, and they are the party has been joined by a native Firbolg who thought that potentially they went to the quote unquote the place where no one must go. A very I keep losing this word.
Forbidden?
No, not. Yeah, I mean it is forbidden. There's
Taboo.
uh, taboo. Starts with an S, maybe. Not stereotypical. I don't know. Anyways, their culture doesn't think you should go there. There's no reason why. No particular reason has been given over the years. Clover is just about 200 years and never knew the reason not to go. But that is where the young kids go to rebel and to explore and to test their fate. And yeah, just do what they've been told not to do. So the party had ventured off to that place and located the young Firbolgs, three of them. Some weird situations occurred. Seems at least two of them were mostly safe. One is tied to a circle of stones, the center plinth, the center stone, which all stones are covered in runes of giant, and it seems to be in a bit of a trance or some kind of hallucination, and is seemingly attempting to go through some kind of ritual to bring the giants back. From what the party learned, interacted with some strange slime coming from a weird mound, and once touched the slime, she went into this weird trance, and they tied her to the stone to kind of determine what they were going to do. So the party arrived, sent two of them home with their companion, Jabble Webner, who has taken those two back. The third that is still tied, Vels, is outside monitoring the situation. The other three ended up going into the mound, which turned out to be a temple dedicated to the giants of the continent, or the ancient continent, that is. Seemed also to be a place where maybe high level Firbolg were laid to rest. Yeah, you're still investigating. So, you can find us at agentsofbeard.com. That has session recaps, links to the podcast version of this if you're watching live, as well as how to watch live if you're listening on the podcast, as well as links to the Discord so you can chat with other listeners, chat with us, read some of the uncovered lore that we've got so far, and Also links to everyone involved. So a majority of us are content creators making content on YouTube, Twitch. That's everything out there. So yeah, just an easier way for you guys to get in touch with all of our adventures. But now let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. First of all, we have Lark. Say hello, Lark.
Lark. So my name is Lark. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Clover Starheart. She is a paladin of Lathander, and a native Firbolg of this area that we are in. She has -1 brain cells, but makes up with that in heart and will fight life and limb for her friends.
Next up, we have the Gamer Hobbit.
Hello. I'm the Gamer Hobbit. I'm playing as Khaligrim, a hill dwarf who is seeking an adventure beyond the Halls of Stone and to uncover the mysteries of the giants. And fortunately, we're in a place where giants were, so hopefully he gets to learn some cool stuff about them and one day pass it down to his kin.
Very good. We also have Indotorius.
Hello. I am Notorious, and I am playing Vels, a gem dragonborn from the House of Dusk up in the Perilous Peaks. He had a bit of a rough childhood, got taken in with some evil folks, and caused a lot of damage to the dragonborn, and now is trying to right his wrongs and help the dragonborn and the people of the continent get together.
And last but not least, we also have Aletha Prime.
Hello, I'm Aletha Prime, and I am playing Wisp Ithrian, the Wood Elf Druid, who is the Circle of Dreams. And my family was in charge of protecting a portal to the Fey Realm, and one day it mysteriously closed, and so her goal is to try and figure out what happened, and following some leads have ended up in this place where we are not supposed to be.
Yes. Very much so. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off with some rolls here. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually started with a d6 roll, so please do that.
Oh, we got a 6.
Yay!
You got 1 6. And a 1.
And a 1.
And a 1.
Oh, shame.
Oh, balanced. Okay.
So yes. If this is your first time, we roll d6s kind of as a fate die to determine how the session is going to go, how the day is going to go. And we're looking for 2 numbers, 1s and 6s. 6s means something good could potentially happen. Someone's looking out for you. Find a hidden cache of health potions, or knowledge is easier to obtain. 1s, worst case scenario, happens. It could happen. That is, I suppose, it's a better way to say it. But 1s and 6s, they cancel each other out, so it will be a normal day.
We get a little bit of a boost because we're session number 42. Life, universe, and everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's worth a shot.
No harm in asking.
All right, let's actually, one thing that I had thrown out there as a possibility, but I haven't figured out how to actually like display this or keep track of this in a certain way. But instead of granting DM inspiration at the start of a session, by default, which is what we have been doing, it is taking the D6 rolls, totaling them up, and then that's what you guys have available to use as far as points. So you can all pull from that pool to increase your rolls. Do we want to try that out? You would have 9, 10, 11, 12 points to add to any roll.
12 points individually, 12 points across all of us.
12 points in total. Collectively, yes.
Cool.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. I've done something similar before, and I think it went very well.
we will we'll test it out today, and we'll see how it goes. Again, we're playing 5th edition rules for most things, but yeah, we like to dabble. We like to play around with different ideas. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys to a map, and we currently have a split party. So we've got Wisp, Clover, and Khaligrim. You guys are inside of the tomb, the temple. This weird mound that you guys had found, and thus far exploring, you have found the main lobby had some interesting relics of giant past, I guess, like just yeah, almost like a religious setup, as if it's like a remembrance of high regard for different types of giants. You did find a statue of a Firbolg that was kneeling, that seemed to be focused on the. It seemed to be a stone giant kind of memorial. You went into what appeared to be some kind of chapel, if you will. Didn't find much in the chapel, but did find a hidden room that was like a priest's quarters, or like whoever was in charge here. So like a writing desk. So there was a book that you guys had located, heavily damaged with mold, but maybe something that could be saved by the Records Guild. You also found a scroll that seemed to be, I believe, Storm Giant or Frost Giant. I can't recall offhand now. But you guys found a scroll, which I believe Khaligrim has. You found another room that filled with statues that were holding weapons, and the weapons, from what you guys could tell, were real, like wood and iron or whatever material they're made out of. The statues made out of stone, so yeah, it seems like they're more or less just like holding the weapons, but seemed like they could probably be pulled out. Behind them was a mural that was covered in mold, which Wisp disturbed when we left off. There was another room that seemed to depict giants fighting dragons and dragon-esque or adjacent folk. So maybe kobolds, maybe dragonborn. And then there was a final room that you guys hadn't entered in yet, but there are 2 dog statues, stone dog statues, that are chained to this door. And of course, it was also the room that had skeletons that were dancing, the floating, seemed to be covered, maybe affected by this slime that seemed to be throughout this place. But overall, creepy, but not bad, pleasant almost, to be able to take a break from your normal adventuring and dance with some new friends.
For some.
Yeah. On the other hand, we also have Vels. Vels, you are outside, and you are currently monitoring the situation out here. You've got a Firbolg that is not really communicating with you. Seems to be under the influence of something, and is tied by way of a rope around the center stone. All these stones have giant runes on it. But yes, seems to be almost ritualistic, calling for the giants to return. And you are out here watching. So let's start. Well, actually, before we start, any thoughts? Any like what's currently going through everyone's head right now?
Clover's still terrified of the skeletons.
Well, it seems like with every room that we go into, we get more questions than answers. I know that Wisp is wanting to have some idea of where the slime is coming from, but is getting frustrated that there doesn't seem to be any clue yet.
There's also this. I think we sort of deduced that we have to do something with the dog statues
Mhm.
and the statues in this room in order to open the door. But we're not 100% there yet. We're trying to connect the dots.
Mm.
Yes, and that, I believe that began because of something that you had found.
That sounds right.
Do you remember what it was?
Was there like an inscription that we saw?
Yeah, like in a lockbox or something that was like trapped. Had like a secret
Yes. Yeah.
No.
It was in a book or a scroll that it was like, this dog is a good boy and faces this way, or something like that.
This is always fun because it's been like a month since we have actually played, so trying to remember exactly what took place.
Mhm.
All right. Not exactly. Let me pull up my notes here. Somewhere.
I remember there was a dog that was named, and it was essentially calling him a good boy. Not in those words.
Okay. So it was a book. It was the book that was found in the writing desk that was mostly molded over. You're hoping that the Records Guild can examine it and do a better job at figuring out. But what the book had said was ... my companions, Flagger, and ... That's all you got.
Oh. Well, they're still good boys.
Yes. Now, I'm sorry. As far as that piece of it goes, however, there was something else that I think really spurred that. Was above the dogs, above the two dogs, or actually above the door that they're chained to. Inscribed in the door is "Call to the Companions." So you have a message saying "Call to the Companions," and you have a book with the inscription of "My Companions, Flagger, and something else." ... Yes.
So we should probably see if we can figure out what the other name is.
Give me one moment. I'm gonna see if I have any. My -2 intelligence. My intelligence is actually 0, but are there any like myths or anything that are coming to mind from like giant religion or history? Like, would naming these two companions, these two dogs, be the equivalent of naming like Odin's two ravens? Like, is Flagger some sort of mythological or religious illusion?
It sounds very giant in tone. But I would say no. Again, like not a lot of information has been passed to you about why this place is not like you're not allowed to go to. Or what's even in here. So it's, yeah, I would say this is all kind of like new and unknown to you. Seemingly familiar. I mean, like Again, like you're seeing like giant stuff, you're seeing Firbolg stuff, so it seems rather normal. But yeah, it just seems like one of these like forbidden knowledge areas.
Forget, did we see anything written on the I don't know why I can't remember simple words. The things that they put dead people in.
Caskets?
These things.
Sarcophagus, yes.
Sarcophagus, thank
That's
you.
the word.
There was two empty.
Words.
There was two empty ones. Obviously, where the dancing skeletons had come from. One of the lids was floating in the air. Just kind of jammed between the ceiling and the back of the wall. But as far as the other 4, I don't believe you guys investigated those at all. There was no nameplates or any kind of inscriptions that would suggest who they belong to, but seemingly similar size. And based on the size of the skeletons that you saw, probably Firbolg.
Oh, we could. Well, Clover is not too happy to go grave robbing. We could look in the other sarcophagi and see if, like, the equivalent of collars are in there. Like, sometimes people are buried with prized possessions, so maybe he was buried with, like, the collars of his dogs, or God forbid, the dogs.
Yeah, I feel like we can go back and maybe investigate that room a little bit better.
Yeah. 3.
And I wonder if we should go check on Vels. We've been in here for a while.
Well,
I can go grab Vels.
so first of all, before we do that, Wisp, go ahead and just roll me a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Because again, where we had left off, you had started to clear out some of the mold so you can investigate the mural that's back here. In so doing, you disturbed it, and spores went all through the air. You breathe them in, and you are violently coughing. And I would say that that is going to continue for at least another 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Ugh.
So you're basically exiting out of the room. The other 2, you guys are moving forward into the room to see what's happening. And as you guys are looking into the room, again, just there's like a lot of dust in the air. I think that's what would mostly be assumed at this point. And Wisp is just coughing, covering her mouth, coughing into her elbows, just trying to get away from this room, and just kind of bumps into you guys. So before we continue, Vels, can I get a perception check from you?
Yes, perception.
24. Okay, awesome. Thank you for doing
Wow.
that. Because,
Wow.
Okay.
it was 2 sessions ago, ish. Yeah, 2 sessions ago that you were here, and you had rolled, I believe, a 19. But I only had given you like half of the information that I wanted to. So, first of all, you've been out here for, I would say, about half an hour. Party's been inside the mound for about a half an hour without you. You're out here by yourself with this Firbolg who is just going through this ritualistic type of talk. Sometimes it's in common, sometimes it's in a language that do you understand? No, you do not understand. But in response to your questions, did bring up some things in common, such as there's nothing that you can do to stop that the giants are going to return. And this is where they will come, and it will be joyous and wonderful. This is the general gist of what's being said, dude. But you had observed one thing previously. So obviously we've got some candles lit up. I would think that you would gauge that that's probably not a part of the ritual itself, that is just something that maybe the Firbolgs brought with them and just lit them, because they're not like in any fancy order. They're just all kind of like jumbled up together. And you would be aware just by working with Clover, Firbolgs do not have the ability to see in the dark.
Yes.
So the candles are most likely not a part of the ritual and are just there for visual. But is tied up to that rock. The first thing that you did notice that we talked about previously is that you had witnessed that this Firbolg basically doesn't have much with her. However, tied to the rope, arms are bound. Midsection and chest is basically bound. One hand is on the rock itself, and the other hand has reached up to a belt loop where it appears a dagger is. So left hand is on a dagger, right hand is on the rock. But again, just kind of like bound, so it's like kind of like weird Houdini type like stretch to get hands in certain locations. But the other thing that you would have noticed is, which I think we had discussed before, there is a layer of slime on different pieces of this Firbolg. You remember hearing that the Firbolg fell into the path of the slime outside of the mound. That's how all of this started. That's when the hallucinations had started. And but with that 24, this is the new piece of information for you, and that is, you would notice that the rope is definitely in a position to strongly, but not like super tight, hold like arms in place. So probably with like enough wriggling, could probably get out. But there's like some tension there, and you're trying to figure out where that tension is coming from. Because again, just like the way it's tied, it doesn't seem like it should be that tight, and the arms are kind of able to be in a certain position. But you're going to notice that the base of the feet of this Firbolg are about 6 inches above the ground. But it doesn't make sense to you. Something off about that.
Trying to remember, was it confirmed that the other Firbolgs tied her up, or she tied herself up?
The other Firbolgs had tied
The other
her
one's
up.
okay. Vels is currently debating whether or not it's like he should I untie her? I mean, they tied her up. They probably had a reason to. She is acting a little bit crazy. There's a dagger up there now.
Yeah, I think it's hard to determine intention here, because it's just this constant ritual tone to the speaking. There is no active movement, so it's not like she's fighting to get loose. It's just that like one arm is firm up against the stone, the other arm has like started to reach up towards this dagger. So like hand is on the dagger, but it seems to be just resting there. The positioning of the rope, I think is what is throwing you off though, because if the rope was higher, if it was coming from, you know, right to left kind of thing, like top right, left down, and then looping around, like it would make sense that she'd be up. But it's the opposite. It's like almost like she is up and the rope is down kind of positioning. So it's just strange.
No, okay, so weird. Now that the hand's on the dagger, I'm just gonna keep watch, make sure she doesn't do anything with that dagger.
Based on the fact that she's restrained, I mean, if you see the dagger, like,
Yeah.
are you just gonna wait until something occurs?
Yeah, just wait till
if
something
there's
occurs.
movement, or, I mean, is it worth just getting it out of her hands?
Oh, I do have mage. Yeah, probably best to get the dagger out of her reach in case it falls and hurts her accidentally, or she grabs it and who knows where that goes. So I'm going to use my cast the mage hand to just move the dagger like somewhere up here, just to kind of knock it off away from her.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna with mage hand, you're going to attempt to pull the dagger out of the the holster, and carry it outside of the ring.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a check, a 19. All right. So, yes, I don't think you could do it in a way to be sneaky at this point. So she will see the spectral hand come, especially once it gets into the candlelight. Reach for the dagger, and you're gonna see at that point her start to struggle, and she grabs a hold of the dagger with her hand, starts to get kind of loose, and just holds it in her hand, and then starts chanting louder. But now the hand is somewhat loose. There's still like 2 rings of the rope around it, so probably not enough to actually do anything with it, but enough to get it in a firmer grip.
Well, then I am not getting that dagger away from her. It's like I don't want to pry it away in case it turns to violence. So I can dispel the mage hand and just continue monitoring the situation.
Okay, very good. Then the group that is inside, yes, you have a very loudly coughing Wisp. You guys are all standing in the hallway to figure out what's going on. What is that? What is that conversation?
What is the plan? We're going back to Are we going? Are we going back to the skeletons?
I think we will, won't we? To check the sarcophaguses. Sarcophagi.
Then I'm gonna go get Vels while you do that.
Good idea.
Okay.
We'll take a look.
Before we do that, can I get a perception check from everybody? Just real quick. And then, yeah, so you guys meet up with Wisp. See that she's coughing. You start terminating. Let's kind of turn around and see what else is in here, kind of thing. Correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Wisp, as you begin to kind of move away from this room, as everyone is starting to move around and go about their different directions, just turning your head to look back into the room that you just came from, you would see the spores just start to fall to the ground. Seems like it's starting to clear out. Probably within the next minute or so, probably will be safe to go back in.
Isn't it? I'm wondering if I should have rolled that with disadvantage.
No, we're cool. We're cool
Yeah.
with that.
Oh.
All right, so
Somebody got a 21.
Yeah, Clover is going outside to get
Yes.
Vels. And
Yes.
Khaligrim, what are you doing?
It was going back into the skeleton room to check out the sarcophagus, the different sarcophagi that were closed.
Yeah, Vels and I think we're going to do that
sounds
together.
good.
And I'm going to come. I'm probably going to try and sneak around Wisp as best I can.
Okay. So, looking in here, knowing that you just came in through here coughing, I think it'd just be obvious that there's these spores and dust all around the air in that room. You could definitely
Okay,
try.
you said that. You said that they were starting to clear away, so I was like, oh, maybe I can. Okay, understand.
Within a
Understandable.
minute. Yeah, within a minute.
Okay.
Just Wisp's nature knowledge.
She's gonna go the long way. She's gonna come
Yeah, 'cause I think
around
there was
this
something
way.
else at the bottom too that was like freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the cold room. That's
That was the cold
right.
room. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
I would think you would be aware that this door probably goes to that central chamber. So if you wanted to walk past the skeletons, you could just go that way. But if you don't, then you don't have to.
I'm gonna go the long way and go and go this way.
Wisp, again, nothing remarkable about this this door that is here. Seems to match the one to the south.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're pretty confident this will go into the skeleton.
Right. Having trouble opening the door?
No, not at all.
All right.
As you enter in, there is not much going on. The skeletons are just kind of floating there. But as you guys enter in, they turn their attention to you. So they both kind of turn around, and the one with the pearl necklace curtsies. The other one just kind of takes a bit of a bow. And then they just kind of stand at attention.
I do kind of an awkward bow as I'm still coughing excessively.
Yes.
Do like an awkward wave kind of thing.
So when you guys were in here last, you basically made it to the center of the room, hadn't gone to this side of it. But based on the center of the room, the two sarcophaguses that were on either side, no visible markings, nothing substantial to be gathered. Viewing the other two from a distance, the same. It was really just that one lid that was covered in the slime. Same as them, that was floating, kind of jammed in between the back of the sarcophagus and the wall and the ceiling. So back in here, what is it that you guys would like to do?
There's no writing on any of the sarcophagi that we can see.
No, very very old. Yeah, it's very old. That is for sure. Bit dusty, but yeah, just kind of running your hands across it, or just looking at it, you're not seeing any visible markings. That would suggest there's a nameplate of any kind.
Guess I'll turn to one of the skeletons, and out of curiosity, I'll ask, are one of you Flaker, by any chance?
With that question, you see the skeleton on the left, so the one that has a bit of a medallion that he's wearing. His head kind of like tilts to the side, and then looks over to the one with the pearl necklace. Pearl necklace skeleton turns their head back to him, and then back. They both like turn at the same time back to you, and you just see like the heads shake no, but you see the jaws moving up and down. Maybe if they're talking, or let me look at you real quick. Yeah, I would say maybe even laughing. But a definite no answer.
Okay. Is Flaker a dog by any chance?
Feel like we're getting into Speak with Dead.
I don't. Well, I'm working with what I have, but I wish I had Speak with Dead, but I'm a druid.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yep.
It makes sense.
Well, I don't know how intelligent they are either. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One on the left is going to point behind you, point forward into the room that you guys had just come from.
Okay.
Right.
Right. So that confirms one thing. Do you, by any chance, do you know where we might find the name of the other dog?
Again, they look at one another, and after a few moments, looks back at you and points to the west. So points over to this area.
Mm-hmm.
So the one with the medallion points. The other one maybe shrugs. Like you see, like shoulder bones and arms like start to move up. Kind of, I would say, just passive insight. Kind of looks like a shrug.
Your help is greatly appreciated. And I kind of fill Khaligrim in on my assumptions and suggest that we head back towards the west room.
Okay. Does that be a good start? Kind of give like an awkward thank you before I head out the room.
Okay, very good. Yeah, go ahead and move where you guys are going to move. And let's shift over to Clover and Vels. Clover, you make it back outside. Vels is just observing the Firbolg out here. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna come up and just tap him on the shoulder. Tap, tap.
Ah! Oh, hi.
You didn't see me coming?
Oh, it's dark. Remember?
I'm loud. Looks down at the suit of plate mail. We managed to get inside and we're looking around. But there's a puzzle. And I'm not good at puzzles.
Oh, I suppose I could go have a look. There's nothing's really happened out here. She's been chanting, some more chanting. Yeah, lots of chanting.
Is that a knife in her hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be obvious. That would be very obvious. There's a dagger.
That was at the top of the rock. She grabbed that. She hasn't done anything with it.
Should I take it from her?
I considered it. I just didn't want to get into conflict.
This whole time, Clover, she is just chanting in Giant. You're familiar with the general idea. It seems maybe some terminology that you maybe not used to, but yes, just seems to be going through each of the giant, the types of giants: stone giant, storm giant, frost giant, that sort of thing. Just speaking about them and then saying today is the day that they will come. They will come back.
He's just listing them. She's not even casting a spell. There was also dancing skeletons inside.
That's oh, given some of the things I've seen, I shouldn't be surprised at this point.
She's
But that puzzle,
Hmm?
that puzzle,
There's 2 dog statues, and one of them we think is named Flagger, and we're trying to find the name of the other because a book says my companions, Flagger, and then it cuts off, and then above the door it says call to the companions.
I'm not familiar with any of the names.
Does
May-
she say or do anything when I say Flagger? Or is she
No.
just continuing her shtick? Okay.
No.
No, but I would say between the time you started observing Vels and you just rolled another 23 from the previous grouping. You've been out here again between I would say between the time that it took you to do the mage hand and then just stand back and continue to observe. Probably an additional like 10 minutes maybe before Clover came out. And I would say you're sensing two things. One is presently not doing anything with the dagger. Just holding it, almost like defensively. Seems like kind of like a defensive stance, if it could stance. But the continuing to observe like the way the ropes are attached to the rock and the just the whole situation again, it just seemed off and you've just been staring at it, trying to figure it out, and you think because her feet are about 6 inches off the ground, maybe she's floating.
Firbolg don't usually do that.
Maybe something is happening then. I Well, if you want to stay out here and keep an eye on her and holler if something further happens, I can go take a look at the puzzle, see if I can be of any help.
I'm gonna I didn't mean to click that long. Take a couple steps closer to her and see what she does.
Clover, can I get a general trying to think, what is the difference between a intelligence roll, wisdom roll?
Intelligence is stuff that you learn from books, and wisdom is stuff that you learn from life.
Yes, intelligence, acquiring and applying facts, wisdom. Cool. So let me ask you this then. Make me just a wisdom check. Except insight. Got a bit of a bonus there.
Okay. 23.
Okay, very good.
Nice.
So with that 23, you would connect a few dots here. You would be aware that the other two Firbolgs said that they had tied her to the stone. If she was floating there, that would make sense why they would. Skeletons were also floating. You had mentioned that to Vels. He's floating, covered in slime. Skeletons floating, they're covered in slime. Sarcophagus lid, covered in slime, floating.
Oh.
Yeah. So there is some kind of floating thing, mechanic, attached to this slime for some reason. And if she's got a dagger and cuts that rope, where would she go? Would she float forever? But probably having that dagger is not a good idea.
They need to get that dagger away from her. Otherwise, she's going to float into the sun.
I love Clover so much.
All right. So obtaining the dagger, how would you like to go about it?
She's a teenager. Can I just grapple her?
Well, you can attempt to disarm. That would be one option. So it would be athletics versus athletics, or athletics versus dexterity.
Okay. Firbolg,
Or
not very
dexterity.
dexterous.
Yeah. So well, we could do athletics versus athletics. So, yeah.
And I'm going to sort of tug on Vels. I keep wanting to call you Kells. Did you do that on purpose? I'm gonna tug on Vels' sleeve and I'm gonna try and grab her, get the dagger away from her. While I have her distracted, can you just help? Maybe come at it from another angle?
Yeah.
It's like getting
Yeah.
it's like getting a cat into a carrier.
All right. So go with that. Go ahead and roll athletics with advantage.
Okay. 22.
7. 7 with mods, and yes, you are going to be able to snatch the dagger, wrestle it away, and yeah, you just see like she just turns towards you and gives you a very stern, angry look, and continues going through this ritual. She wriggles in this rope, but still firmly up against the stone. Seems very upset about that. About you taking it.
I'll give her give her a pair of safety scissors. If she can cut through that rope with a pair of safety scissors, she deserves to float away. Okay, I think this should help. There's something about the slime that makes people float. I'm going to hold on to the dagger. I'm going to stick it in my bag or something. Make sure there's no sharp rocks around her.
All right. So with that taken care of, is the understanding that Vels is going to go inside, Clover, you're going to stay out here?
Yes. Sorry, you asked me just as I took a bite of food.
Okay. Out of character, do you remember how long it took you guys to get here?
Couple hours, I thought.
Okay. That's what I remember too, but I just wanted to verify. Okay. Well, Vels, yeah, you can move inside if you'd like. Looking ahead, yes, you do see. Yeah, you do see two skeletons that are just kind of standing. Their backs are to you. Actually, not standing. They're also floating. Backs to you. They seem to be facing up to the north. Up to the north, can't quite make it out, but yeah, I would say you could see that opposing door is open. But you see nothing else in there. I believe you did walk through here a little bit. So a very cold room over to your right. To the left was a kneeling statue of a Firbolg.
All right. Well, I heard dancing skeletons. There's a door open. I'm just going to assume it's straight ahead.
Okay.
Where people are.
Okay. As you walk in, the two skeletons will notice you right away and just kind of like back up and turn. The one on the left is wearing a medallion around its neck, and it takes a bow. The other one to the right, pearl necklace, curtsies to you. But they kind of part ways.
All right. I'm going to bow back and then keep going. And okay.
So in this room, you are going to see pillars. The pillars have some carvings on them. Just as like a simple glance as you're just walking through trying to find your party, you see scenes of war between giants and giantkin against what appears to be maybe dragonkin. Just kind of depends on how long you want to stay in here to really determine what's there. But yeah, it definitely seems like there's just a mixture. But you've got a hallway to the left, hallway to the right. Real quick before you move, Wisp and Khaligrim, what are you guys doing in this room? Again, this was the chapel, so you've got a bit of an altar here. There were some candles up on top of the altar. There was some pews with mold covering the walls and some of the pews. There's some brokenness, some little streaks of slime in here as well. But what were you doing in this room?
Probably just checking it over to see if there was like, I don't know, anything we missed. In case there's something concealed in a wall or on the floor or something like that.
I'm basically looking for anything with writing on it, but I guess I can start around the altar and see if there's any sort of like paper or book or carving or.
Okay. Is there conversation happening?
Mostly just, I'm checking over here and let me know if you see something weird.
Vels. What direction
All right.
do you want to go?
I'm gonna go left. Do my normal matrix. Just hug the left wall. Oh, hey,
Okay.
that actually worked.
And you find them. Yeah. So you find Wisp. Wisp is looking over something that you cannot see from that vantage point. But Wisp, yes, this altar is made out of stone. It has, it's just covered in red wax. There is one candle left in a candle holder. But yeah, the rest seem to have spilled out over and melted up onto this altar. So, but yeah, there was like one candle that is like halfway through, but had been cut off or put out rather. But you guys can meet up. At this point. Khaligrim, again, just like going through, like it's not like your standard pew that has books behind. It's just benches. So yeah, you just kind of going through here. There's really not a lot on the ground at all.
Okay.
And Vels, I'm just gonna move you in your room because doors
Okay.
are weird.
Okay. Khaligrim, Wisp. I heard there was some sort of puzzle. What? What have you found?
Trying to find the name of a dog.
Yes. And the skeletons seem to point somewhere in this general direction for a clue of where we can find the name. Oh, and you might want to watch the floor in this room. It's got a bit of that slime in here too.
Ooh, good call. Apparently that slime makes you float.
Really?
Yes.
Suppose it's why the skeletons were floating in as well.
And that lid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clover realized it when she saw the Firbolg was floating outside. Also had slime.
So did you say the candle on the altar had been lit at one point in time?
They all were, yes. There's four. It's a 4-candle holder. 3 are not necessarily empty. I mean, there's some wax at the bottom. The rest of the wax of the 3 is on this altar itself and kind of spilling off to the sides and the front, but just melted, right? The other one is like half a stick, but mostly melted as well, or halfway melted, that is.
What's the difference between a candelabra and a candle holder?
It depends on if it's stationary or something you can take with you.
Oh,
I think
Or-
there's
I'm not
more
entirely
singing
sure,
in
but-
I think there's more singing in a
Formality.
candelabra.
where's Liberace when you need him?
Yeah. Looking around the altar, are there any other additional candles or just the ones that had been there?
No. Yeah, just fragments of what was once there, but no books, no nothing else. No engravings. Yeah, the only book was from the writing desk, which Clover has. on her person. But yeah, just based on location, probably whoever ran services here, probably their book. But no, nothing else really remarkable about this room. The tapestry is all worn and mold covered, but it seems mostly just decorative red fabric. Not really any symbolism or anything attached to it.
Dark in this room?
I say that again.
Sorry, is it dark in this room?
Yes. Well, it was. Vels, I believe, has a torch.
I have a torch, yeah.
That was my. I was guessing that too.
But yes, dark otherwise.
Can I light what's left of that candle?
Sure.
Doubt it'll do anything, but you never know.
Yeah, you'd have to kind of pull the wick out of the melted wax. But yeah, you would be able to light it with your stuff that you got that lights things. Whatever that's called.
Or with Vel's torch.
Tinderbox.
Or
There you go. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
yeah. Well, torch
yeah.
is a bit overkill, but your tinderbox for sure. But yes, you would be able to light it, and it catches. It takes a little bit catch. Again, you have to kind of clean it out from the wax to bring it out of that wax, but then also to clear that string out, that wick out. But it does light, and it does shine very nicely in here. You're not noticing any other effects.
Okay. Did we pull aside that tapestry?
I believe
Yes,
so.
you went into that room.
I thought we did.
Yeah, that's how you got into the room to the
I was thinking
west.
there was something on a different wall. Okay.
No, you guys had explored, I believe, pretty much all around, and it was this part of the tapestry over here is where that where that door was. The door was jammed. You broke it down.
Is there anything in any of the pews that might be still around?
Negative. They're just benches. Doesn't seem like there's any markings. Seems not your standard pews that you might see in modern churches. It's more natural. Hard
Okay.
edges.
That's gonna go numb.
posters.
Oh, maybe we should try going back into this other room behind the tapestry, or they could have just been referring to that book that we found and only got the one name from.
Oh,
That would
is
be
true.
disappointing.
Hmm.
Well, it's worth a shot to look.
Yeah.
I guess we'll head back into that room.
All right. Again, just for Vels's point of view, you've got a rubble in a hand or claw dug hole in the side. You're pretty confident just based on placement and where you think you are and how it's constructed. That is probably that hole that you saw on the side when you guys were outside. Definitely tracks that make it seem like bugs. Maybe small critters might have been through there. And then some rubble on the ground. But yeah, overall in here, you've got that moldy writing desk, but kind of going past, through it again, not really noticing anything else that could be useful. Khaligrim, this is the room that you found the loose flagstone that had that scroll case in the lockbox. Looking at that scroll case again that you picked up, again in giant carved in the side is, "From the skies you came with salvation. Our repentance will be paid in full." Did not spend a whole lot of time looking at the scroll itself. You are aware that it is cloud giant related. Seems to be talking about cloud giants and mentalities, psychologies, what they believe, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But I think that's as far as you got with it. Digging through the loose flagstone, nothing else there.
Maybe it was just referring to Flaggy.
Did we actually try calling to the dog? I don't think that we did.
I remember Clover said something, but I don't know what it was.
Mm.
I don't remember
Yeah.
offhand how she did it.
Hmm.
Clover, insight check, please.
Okay. One second. Struggling. Normal.
Yes. Aye.
Oof.
Oof. We have a pool of 12.
Can I use 5?
Any objections?
Go ahead.
Any objection? Okay. I'm going to take 5 and bump it up to a 10.
Okay. With a 10, you are noticing, again, Vels has walked in. I'd say Vels has been away from you for about 15 minutes. And you're noticing a slow, slow withdrawal, almost. Like there is almost like the speech is starting to get a bit slurred, almost tired. You're noticing it just slowing down. Not as loud.
Okay.
The same thing over and over again, but it just seems like starting to get broken. Eyes begin to close.
Oh.
Still floating, though.
I am going to watch her carefully, but not interfere.
All right, so those who are inside, searching through the chapel, searching through the possibly the priest quarters, not really finding anything new. Really only leaves the room with the statues.
Well, I guess we'll head back in that direction.
Or the cold room, because you really haven't spent much time in the cold room, too, I suppose.
Yeah, we could try going that way. See if there's anything in there. Oh!
Watch this line.
Yeah.
Yes, in this room, slime is poking out of the base of the door. You did have to kind of step over some of the streaks in the hall down here, but yeah, it seems like there's a huge well of it behind this door. The door looks jammed, almost soaked, wet.
Well, do we want to check out the cold room, or do we want to go back up and go to the statues?
I mean, we could go back to the statue room because the mold should have probably
It should have
settled
dissipated
down by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we'll take the safe path back to the statue room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I think before going in, Wisp is going to take like a cloth or a rag or something like that and put that over her face before going back in there.
Okay. Suggesting that to Khaligrim and Vels as well.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Easy enough to do. Khaligrim, well, everyone, yeah. As you get into this hall and start looking through. Yeah, the dust has settled quite a bit. And yeah, as you guys get in here, and I'm gonna move you forward. Gonna bring everyone down here. As you get into this room, Wisp, I think you would be the first to understand kind of what happened. And yeah, it was like a rapid fire domino effect with this mold. Like once one exploded, the rest kind of exploded as well. Just kind of in a domino effect. But the mural is much more visible now. So everybody roll me everyone in this room, that is, roll me a perception, please. All right, we got a 14, a 10, and a 19.
I'm half tempted to bump it up to a 20, but I think we should save those for later.
Mm-hmm.
Average of 14. So Vels, this is your first time entering into this room. What sets this room apart is there are 7 statues here. Seem all Firbolg size, made out of stone. But the weapons appear to be actual weapons. Wood, iron, maybe silver. It's hard to tell. You've got a mace with a spiraling hilt, a morning star with a 2-inch long spikes, maybe made out of bone, battle axe engraved with a horse's head, a warhammer engraved with a boar's head, a longsword with wavy blood grooves, a halberd with a moldy pennant attached to it, and a spear with a serrated blade. The wall, though, with the mural Wisp, now that you have a better chance to take a look at it, another battle. Seems very similar to the carvings in the pillars in the room that you just walked through. Again, giants fighting dragons. Giant kin standing there alongside the giants. Dragons flying, but dragon kin on the ground. Giant kin definitely resemble Firbolg. Seems pretty obvious. Wisp, though, as you guys are kind of just walking around this room, investigating and trying to get as much information as you can off the mural, you do see one Firbolg that is holding a weapon. Seems very, very proud, pointing towards a dragon that is flying in the air. And 2 hounds next to it on either side of its mount. It's mounting a horse. The dogs, so one is on the opposite side of the horse, so you really can't make out. But the dog that is on this side of the horse does have a collar, and it does seem like something's engraved, but it's kind of covered in dust.
I guess I will very gingerly and very slowly move towards the mural and see if I can gently wipe away some of the dust.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can tell what's underneath.
Vels, how much of Dragonborn history are you aware of? You remember historical battles?
I'd
Was that
say
something to
probably
taught?
it's like something that would have been taught, but considering how young Vels was when the war happened, it's probably something that he didn't learn.
Yes, you had a bit of a civil war happening as you were growing up.
Yeah.
I think for you, it would just it just seemed strange. Like you, obviously, you're aware of your people's viewpoint of where they should stand in society. You are aware of the little statuette that you have, and it seeming that dwarves and elves and other species and dragonborns all live together and work together and played nicely. So it does seem odd to you that the Firbolgs and the giants are fighting dragons in what appears, from your vantage point, probably dragonborn. Could be kobold, but seems a bit big for kobolds. Say just passive insight, like it does. It does seem like there was some kind of battle here, or at least depicted here, between your folk and the Firbolgs. And going back to your initial interaction with the Firbolgs when you got there, they seemed to look at you with squinty eyes, gave you the rough treatment, didn't seem very happy that you were there. Maybe, yeah, maybe they're aware of this battle that took place. Could explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Wisp, as you look down and you brush away some of the dust and look closer at this dog, it does have a collar. Kind of brush away, and you see some letters there, and it appears to say Cheddar written on the collar.
I see the giants aren't fond of Vels.
Yeah.
And I pointed out to the other two.
Yeah, I wonder what happened.
Seems like we were able to find it.
Wisp, if you were looking for another name associated with the dog, this would be it.
Mm-hmm. Well, does anybody want to go speak to some statues? I'm new dense with skeletons, so it's par for the course.
I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm. So I guess we're gonna head back to the dogs.
Bark, bark.
Okay. So the only thing, as you guys move back and enter into this room, and I'm gonna move you guys manually, is that again, this is pretty heavy on Firbolg stuff. So should you have Clover there with you? Was kind of her idea. You're assuming that
head back.
Jabble would be returning at some point.
Probably should.
Yeah. Why don't I go get her, and I can keep an eye on the young one for a bit.
Sounds good.
So I will rush out to go let Clover know what we found.
Okay, let's avoid moving tokens around. Let's just do it. You guys head outside to go get Clover. What is that conversation like?
It looks like she's falling asleep, so we might not need to watch her anymore. She might be fine until Jabble gets back.
There's some weird magic going on. Do you think it'll be safe?
I think it'll be safe until Jabble gets back, at least.
Okay.
He's been gone long enough that he should be getting back soon.
All right. Let's go ahead and head back in there together. There's it's a very interesting tapestry of a Firbolg fighting a dragon, perhaps.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah. Oh, and we found the name of the other dog.
Oh, what is it?
Cheddar.
The cheese?
Yes, exactly like the cheese.
She's not actually going through the middle room, but I'm doing this to make it quicker.
Yeah.
No, I imagine the two of us would go around.
Yeah, it'd be simple enough for you guys all to get back with avoiding uncomfortabilities. But yes, you guys are all standing in this room. And Vels, to give you a better description, you've got these 4 pillars in the center, and just vaguely looking at them, similar scenes to what you saw on the mural in that previous room. Giant kin fighting dragons, dragonkin. Seems to be more focused in on the giant versus dragon side rather than the kin side. But yeah, at the top of this room, you've got a door. The door reads, "Call out to the companions." And you've got 2 stone dogs that are here, chained to the door. Seems like the door probably won't open if the dogs are chained to it.
Lager, cheddar.
Just verifying you are using a very meek voice. Is that accurate? Calling out the dogs with those 2 names. You hear, first of all, you hear movement. You hear stone moving, and you guys look at the dogs. The dogs move, the chains move, loosen up. The dogs stand at attention. Door's still chained to it, but they seem they're no longer laying down facing the center of the room. They are standing up facing behind you. So facing you, basically.
Oh.
But the chains are much looser. The tension has dropped on the door. What would you like to do?
Should we try and open the door?
Is there something we're supposed to get the dogs to do?
Well, but it's a lot looser, so maybe,
Maybe it'll just open?
yeah.
Vels will walk in the middle and open the door if the dogs don't do anything too scary. Since apparently they may not like Dragonborn.
Okay, so you're gonna walk towards the door and open it.
Yeah.
You open it. Inside there's a sarcophagus. I would suggest you move. I'm just gonna move you right here. Rest, you follow.
Right.
Val's. Nope. I'm gonna
Okay,
keep you
nope.
back here. I just want you guys to get into the entryway.
Okay.
Because as you guys all enter in, obviously dogs don't do anything. They just stand at attention, allow you to go through. Door's not locked. You're able to open it up and get through. But as you walk in from the sarcophagus, especially in the light, you are going to see something float out of it. Float to the side. And its back is turned to you guys, but it eventually turns around. Very ghostly. It is definitely a ghost or some kind of undead floaty thing. And but yeah, it turns and it looks at over all of you. But it seems mostly to focus on you, Clover. You stand united with these three? Have we forgotten our past, child? And that's where we'll go ahead and take a break. Let's go ahead and get beverages, everything, drinks,
All right.
snacks, bathroom breaks, and then we'll come back.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm back. So quick thank you to everyone who is tuning in live. Again, you can find out more information about what we're doing over at agentsofbeard.com. And yeah, hopefully you are enjoying. This is a West Marches style shared campaign. So we've got about 4 or 5 different groups that are going through all unraveling what occurred on this continent, to cause the previous society to shatter. There are natives. So Clover is a native. We've got a few other natives as well. Wisp is a native elf from the eastern side. Clover, Firbolg from the western side. Vels, dragonborn from the northern side. But they all do not fully grasp the history of this place. What occurred here before? They've just been kind of living their lives, and only so much has been shared. But there obviously is a history, and they are covering it as they go.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Back as well.
Hello.
Same.
Hi.
I just let Odin outside, and he really wants me to go with him, but I'm busy.
Little.
Lark, I
Violet
sent you a
has moved
message.
on. I saw. Uh, Violet has moved on from attacking the cords to my laptop, and the cats have an automatic water thing that just like it's a gravity thing, and whenever water comes into the dish, it bubbles up through the reservoir.
Mhm.
She is infatuated by the bubbles. Like, she tries to make the bubbles go off. She's currently attacking it to try to make the bubbles go off.
It's cute.
I believe we're just waiting on Vels.
I'm just muting so you don't hear my crunching.
No. That's my favorite part of the stream with you guys, is hearing you eat chips.
That's why I was muted during the thing earlier. I got Taco Bell for dinner, and I was eating the chips and nacho cheese, and I was like, I don't want this to be something serious, and I'm just sitting here crunching on chips.
Oh man.
I think we're all reaching into a bag of some sort.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, Lark, take a look at that message. Let me know. But
I am scrolling through the list as we speak. Don't worry.
I'm currently trying to
okay.
remember something that happened a while ago.
All right, very good. All right, so yeah. Well, hold on, let me do this one thing. All right. So we are in this room. You guys have finally unraveled the puzzle, have entered in. And yeah, there's a sarcophagus in the center of the room. The rest of the room looks relatively empty otherwise. But as you guys had walked forward, out from the sarcophagus floated a ghost. Appears to be Firbolg. And said, seemingly aimed at Clover, "You stand united with these three? Have we forgotten our past, child?"
This has long been forgotten by more than just me.
You see his eyes just shoot daggers through Vels. "And this wretch dares to stand in my presence after what we went through. What is the meaning of this? Why have you come here?"
We have come here to rescue those that have run from my tribe. 3 young ones, one of which mind all muddled. You may look at them as villains, but I view them as heroes and my friends.
Everybody roll me a perception.
Go.
Hmm,
Those are really good rolls.
that's not a bad average.
Yes, 21, 19, 21, 19. So yes, average of 20, I would imagine.
I would hope.
Yeah, wow. This Firbolg ghost, armored up, but leather, probably studded. Not holding any weapons. Obviously it's a ghost, right? It seems to be something dangling from its necklace. There's like a little bit of a medallion there. Again, the room is generally empty outside of the sarcophagus. And again, it started above the casket, moved to the left. Just looked each and every one of you around. Seems rather built. Standard Firbolg build, but maybe a bit more.
Does it look similar to the Firbolg in the tapestry?
does have a similarity to the mural.
Mhm.
Maybe is expected. But yes, there's definitely a similarity there. I would say there's also similarity with Clover. Same facial structure. Well, you have opened up the tomb. My tomb. Which means there is not a lot of time. You say you are saving members of your community. Again, turns his attention to you, Clover. Your tribe.
Yes.
You've...
There.
No, go ahead.
When we arrived here, there was a, a, a slime that had made its way onto one of them and into this structure. That's what's muddled her brain and has brought two of our own back from the dead. We initially came just to save the young ones, but as a paladin of Lathander, I cannot allow my people to be brought back from an unholy rest.
As Firbolg, you should not stand for such a thing. But now that you have opened up the seal, it will continue to spread. There is not much time left. Though I do not understand your trust in such beasts. And again, he's going to look around at everyone, but mainly at Vels. Our time is short here. I request of you, if you are trying to save your tribe and the Firbolgs as a whole, open up my sarcophagus, take the item around my neck, and it will lead you to what we need to stop all of this. Again, looks at Vels. Their icy prison has protected them for too long, but justice and order will prevail once more.
Icy prison.
Seal that you speak of, I'm unfamiliar with it.
Vels, do you know what icy prison that could be referring to?
Do I? I don't think so.
Well, you are from the Perilous Peaks.
From the Perilous Peaks, which is cold. Yes, that's where my first thought is going.
I like how just like the tail end of Kel's crunch is coming through every now and then too. Like we're just standing in front of him and he keeps looking down at us and Kel's is just like eating a bag of chips.
Nom, nom. Yeah, it's a bunch of Cheez-Its.
just nervously eating.
Yep.
That is there's just the sound of Dragonborn biting its tongue. Um,
I love it.
yeah, Vels. Yeah, you guys are from the north, so from your perspective, it's not actually a prison,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's signs that your people were amongst everyone else throughout this area. You don't know why you guys were up there to begin with. So, you know, not out of the question per se. But it has instructed you guys to open up the sarcophagus and take an item off of its neck. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to step aside and Clover, I think you should be the one to open this sarcophagus. Feel like.
Gonna, yeah, try and open it up.
Okay. It does not take much effort to do so. And as you open it up, against a stone coffin, lid is not latched. It just kind of slides off. Very similar to the sarcophagus you saw in the hall previously. Inside, skeleton, very similar to the ones you saw outside, so Firbolg in size. On its wrists, there are a pair of copper bracelets. Seem to have some kind of engraving on it. Around its neck, though, is a pendant attached to a chain. It seems like there is, say, with torch of that Vels is holding, you can see the green color of the emerald in the center.
So it doesn't look similar to the one that was on the dancing skeleton.
Oh, different. This one is definitely different.
I will take it off.
Okay. Also, next to the body, there are some candlesticks. Seems like silver. Tarnished with age. But yeah, there's some candlesticks next to the body. But yes, the pendant is easily unlatched and pulled off. You can easily take it.
I'll take it and not quite put it on yet. I'll hold it up in my hands and look up to the ghost to see if I've got the go ahead.
It nods.
And I'll put it on.
Based on that perception check, as you turn around and face the group after putting it on, and kind of pulling it up, I think it'd be easy enough for everyone to recognize that it is another rune. It has an engraving around the emerald that seems very similar to things that you have seen thus far in here. But Clover and Khaligrim, you would both be aware that this is definitely a frost rune.
Hmm.
But the ghost again speaks up. Again, there is not much time that will help you find what will fix this issue. And bring back to the Firbolgs what was stolen long ago. But you, child, you will need something else. Looks at you, Clover.
I'll look up back at him.
Back in the room. He's gonna point down to the right side of the map. There is a weapon. It will aid you. Only you. You must hurry. There isn't much time left. But it will shine a light, bright, even through the icy prison that they brought upon themselves. Take it with you, please.
I'm gonna give a meek nod and I will.
With that, it will just continue to float there, just kind of move around. But what is the situation here? Are you guys walking out, waiting?
Oh, we
there's
don't
a
have much
weapon.
time. We should go. Yeah, it's a weapon. You'll probably know which one, or so, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna start walking out.
I'll follow him back to that room.
All right. One moment. All right, as you all enter in the torch. It's been an hour, so it starts to fade. Starts to go out, Vels. But it doesn't seem to quite matter. This room is lit up. And it seems to light up as soon as, Clover, you enter into the room. Maybe related to the pendant? But there's one statue. The weapon that it is holding is now casting a light.
Ooh.
It is the halberd. Pennant is moldy, but probably could be fixed up. Yes, it is casting light. Wisp, as you take a look at this halberd, see this, you take a look at the mural again, and it seems to be the mural excuse me, seems to be the weapon that the one with the two dogs is holding.
Aha. I'm gonna do a quick mending cantrip on the pennant.
Very good. Very well.
Which one has the halberd?
Say this one right here.
One? Okay. I'll come down to it and gingerly pick it up out of its hands.
Can we
Easy.
also say that I recommended wearing a mask of some sort?
Actually,
Just in case.
yeah. As you guys walked in here, there's no issue. There's nothing in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could easily recommend it, but it is not necessary. But yes, taking the halberd from the statue is without tension, without any issue whatsoever. Prized right out of the hands. Again, it's a theory that you guys thought about before, that the weapons are real and they were just holding it. This weapon just came right out.
What's on the pennant? Now that it's been mended a little bit.
It is a frost rune. Frost giant rune. Silver in color, red pendant. Very similar to the tapestries in the other room, but you couldn't necessarily see any decoration on it. But same color of the red. Maybe a bit more brighter, livelier.
She'll give it a twirl, a thrust, see how it sits in her hands, then nod and turn back to the others with a grin.
I guess we better get moving.
Yeah, we don't have much time, so. Clover, you have any idea where we're headed?
Back to the. Well, right now, let's just get out of this
Yeah.
complex.
Quick question. Do you attempt to locate what you're looking for? Or do you just try to get out of here?
I like how all of us just like, and person who does runes, what do frost runes do?
Crap. I have to have a look.
Because I'd like to take a quick attempt at trying to locate it.
Frost rune.
Well, there's yes. Go ahead. Continue.
While wearing or carrying an object inscribed, you have an advantage on wisdom checks and charisma. In addition, you can invoke the rune as a bonus action to increase sturdiness. 10 minutes, you gain a +2 to all ability checks and saving throws that use strength or constitution.
Damn.
I think that was everything.
Say again?
I think that was everything on it, yeah.
Oh. That's at least the Rune Knight. Yes.
Ah.
Fantastic. Does anyone have identify?
Nope.
Again, are you mentally trying to locate what it is that you are looking for?
Yes.
Okay. Then, if that is the case, if you are trying to, if you realize you have this this medallion and you try to think about where it is you're looking for, you will instantly be attuned to this item, and you are aware that it is casting locate object. Does not find it though. Not here, at least. It seems to be very active, though. Quite possibly it is always active, but now that you've mentally attuned to it, you're definitely aware of it. Essentially, when you're closer, though, you could locate it.
Noted. Does the halberd feel like I'll need to attune to it as well?
Probably.
Okay. I'll begin attuning to it.
Yes. Yeah, just real quick, because locate object is a paladin spell, I think you would be familiar with the general concept.
Right.
And it is a within 1,000 feet range.
That's farther than I remembered. Perfect.
Okay. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to do inside?
Not really.
No.
We checked around there pretty well for the most part.
Yeah. Do we want to take a exit out through the cold room to see if, since it's frost runes, if it does anything special?
You would, yes, you could do that. You could definitely do that. If you'd like. Actually, as you start moving that direction, you would notice that you're not feeling any temperature difference now.
Ooh.
Cool.
It's not just you; it's everyone. Like it seems to have
Ooh.
turned off. Yeah. But just as you walk outside, Jabble also arrives. I feel like it's probably been an hour and a half since he had left.
Mhm.
And he is standing, observing the Firbolg. You are not hearing any chanting. You really hear nothing. Except for some crickets, maybe some frogs in the distance.
Is she asleep?
He nods. And he'll walk up to you. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to pause the game. There we go. You guys move around. Yes, he moves up closer to you guys. Yes, it seems so. How was everything inside?
Yeah, pretty dirty, but other than that, not too bad. I got to dance with a skeleton.
A ghost gave me things.
some shifty eyes from Jabble. I see. Well, the other two returned safely. Seems like she's asleep. Might as well take her back. It's very odd, which you experienced, but you know, you don't have to tell me what really happened. That's, I mean, it's up to you. You guys are adventurers. I understand the protocol. Not sharing news with the public that could be fearful. I get it. But we should
I
take
think
this
Wisp
one
would
back.
just tell him everything.
We should. We should.
I think Wisp is going to anyway. It's like, oh yeah, so we went in there and there were like these statues and there was this cold room and it really hurt and then so on and so forth. Just like a million miles a minute.
At that, he's like, you see him like after a bit, just kind of raises his hand. Okay, all right.
But I didn't get to the best part.
It seems like a lot, but doesn't seem any closer to our gateway issue that we were investigating, which is unfortunate. That was what I was hoping for. So maybe there wasn't really a gateway out here at all. Which means we should probably head back east towards your community, Wisp. See what we can find there. I mean, unless there's something else you'd rather do, but I thought that's what you were interested in.
Yep. Sorry, I had to sneeze for a second. So I was waiting for it and I'm like, is it gonna happen? Okay.
If you ever need to sneeze and it's not wanting to come, stare at a light. It works.
I'd have to turn on my ring light to do that, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that would probably be the next best thing to do. I did send a letter ahead of time, so maybe they'll have something when we get there.
Very good. Well, I know that they're expecting this third one, so maybe we just stay the night and, you know, I don't know what your plans are, and I don't want to interfere with anything, but if you would like me to come along, I could. I'm sure there's something else I could do, though, but, let me know. And he just kind of smiles and turns back towards the center stone to just observing how the rope is tied around this thing, seemingly trying to find the end of it to start unraveling it.
Make sure that at least one end of the rope is tied around her. Otherwise, she's going to float away.
He turns back and looks at you like tilted head. Float? Are you sure?
I'm gonna poke my head around and see if her feet are still like 6 inches off.
At this point, they are not. But you would notice that the slime has been removed. I mean, I came over here and you had this like what stuff on her. I cleaned it off, before you guys came out. I did notice it floating, though. Are you sure she'll just float off if we remove the rope?
Be good now.
Wow, I'll hold on to her. I mean, someone should be on this side. Catch her. I mean, she is sleeping, it seems. So go ahead and let loose the rope, and I'll hold on.
I'll hold on as well, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I guess we're all just going to.
Yeah, you let loose the rope. Wisp and Jabble wait to catch. You guys catch. And she immediately like moves forward, now being let go by the rope. You guys are able to catch her and kind of walk with her and starts to regain conscious. What is going on? Who are you?
Shh. What do you remember?
I remember. I think I missed dinner. Is supper happened?
It has.
So hungry. Can we go home?
We're headed there right now.
Okay.
Let's take her home.
Yeah, she stumbles a little bit. Definitely needs some assistance, at least as you begin. But once you get into the walk, she regains like full capabilities and walks with you, but doesn't seem to remember much.
I think as we go along, Wisp doesn't say anything, but realize that she got so caught up in like all the stuff that was going on that she completely forgot one of the reasons why they were actually there. She's like, "Oh yeah, should have probably been looking for some other stuff," but doesn't say anything because she's kind of embarrassed that she overlooked it.
Do you name anything in particular?
Hmm?
As far as what you should have been looking for, do you name specifics?
Oh, and this is all just like in her head, just thinking about how she should have been looking for, clues to what's happening with the Feywild and all that. So basically, just chiding herself and not really saying very much.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was just based on that thought, Jabble had a hard time communicating with the Firbolg, so he wasn't necessarily sure that there was a gateway here, but seemed relatively sure that there probably was one. But you didn't see anything in there that resembled it. You didn't have any feelings that would resemble it. However, there were those doors that were covered in slime. Could have gone to a central chamber, could have gone downstairs, could have gone up. Well, didn't go upstairs. Definitely didn't go upstairs, but it could have gone down. There could be something there, but, slime. Maybe a secondary issue. But okay. Again, you guys have like about an hour ish to get back home. Any other mental thoughts or open conversations that you guys are having?
I'm trying to just talk to the Firbolg girl as much as possible. In Giant to just kind of keep her at ease, keep her calm, that sort of thing.
Okay. I think Khaligrim would be aware of those conversations. Well, it's definitely easy enough to do. But yeah, she just seems like mentally out of it. Doesn't really remember like anything, even coming out here to begin with. Near the tail end of your journey back, she starts to remember maybe heading out in that direction, but it's all very strange to her because she could have sworn she was with other people, other Firbolgs, and now they're not there.
I'd tell her that we brought them back and they're okay now and everything's fine, nothing to worry about, that sort of thing.
Vels and Khaligrim, anything you guys would do for that hour?
Not particularly.
Yeah, I think probably mostly just thinking, like, just on the murals and stuff that he saw with like the Firbolgs and the Giants, the dragons and Dragonborn stuff. Kind of just thinking on that, just to see what it kind of all meant and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like speculating and stuff, but
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. After about an hour, you guys are able to make it back to the village. And it is late, but there was an obvious expected arrival. So there's a lot of cheers. There's a lot of happiness. Welcomes the Firbolg back in open arms kind of situation. Definite gratitude passed to the entire group, including you, Vels. Seems like attitudes might have shifted slightly, but definitely seems they are aware of your help here. They offer you guys a place to stay for the night.
That'll be fantastic.
Yay.
So, two things. One, any conversation during the night or the following morning about what you guys do next?
Yes. So, probably like the next morning, Vels would bring up. So we're still looking for the Feywild. Not sure if that's still around this area or in a different area. And now we have the whole. We need to find the icy prison soon, wherever that is. My guess is up north.
That sounds more pressing than
Yeah.
looking for a portal.
Yeah.
I mean, well, out of character.
Yeah.
Where's Svamp right now?
Svamp is
Thank you.
Sedund area.
Sedund. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, she's in Sedund. We'll continue that train of thought.
No, I was just out of character. We've talked a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
eh, we've spoken a little bit about background stuff.
Yes, your character would be aware that she's in Sedund. Out of character, she's over in on Storm Island.
Okay.
So, yes, you guys have three things, three paths here that you guys can take. That in character you guys would be aware of, out of character you guys would also be aware of, and that is heading to Nordland and the Perilous Peaks to find whatever this thing is that you're looking for. You have no inclination of what that is, but it seems like that's the direction you would head. So, heading there. There's also the Feywild Rift gateway issue thing that would take you east towards the Bearded Jungle through the Tangled Hills to get to. Also, where there's a big tree there, according to the old maps.
Big tree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the third thing, and the third thing is technically kind of sort of maybe attached to the first thing, and that is the Firbolg ghosts that you talk to seem to be aware of the slime situation. But you do have that path the slime took.
Right.
Whatever was leaving that slime. So you could also follow that, which was heading easterly through through the woods. So you could try to locate that. I guess those would be the three things that your characters would be aware of. Three different directions. From a adventurers guild at perspective, it seems like they would probably push you guys towards what you were doing to begin with, which was investigating the Feywild Rift issue. So heading towards Tangled Hills and the Big Tree and that sort of area. But there is also no active job, so the other two options would also be applicable. So it'd be up to you. Again, out of character, so in character. Feel free to talk about it.
Well, finding the ice in prison sounded the most pressing. I think that's what we should try to find as soon as we can.
I think the icy prison or the slime, because while yes, the icy prison sounds most pressing, I guess most pressing long term, I feel like the slime is very pressing short term.
And did you say that the slime was receding after we left?
No.
Okay. I don't know where I got that from then.
It receded in reaction to the fire, the torch. It reacted negatively towards that when you guys were investigating what was coming out of the door. Wasn't necessarily receding, I guess. It was just reacting, avoiding it. So if it is making things float and making creatures hallucinate, having something like that in the wild, I think potentially is detrimental. They're all pressing. I mean, they're all pressing. It's just a matter of what you guys are prioritizing.
I think while we're here,
Yeah, while we're here, we might as well.
there's that, and then I think. So I've kind of every now and then I'll go through and look at here's what's going on the continent. Is this stuff that's been shared through the Adventurers Guild? Just confirming.
Well, yes, but the last piece you would be aware of, as far as the internal reports go, the last thing you would have been aware of is,
This is an old thing. This is like a couple months ago that I'm thinking of.
Yes. Okay. Well, yes,
I'm thinking.
they're all reports you guys would have gotten.
Okay. The old thing that I'm thinking of is back with what were they? Aliens.
Shapeshifters?
Yes, the shifters.
Yeah. There's.
Which Vels and Khaligrim experienced.
Oh, you two were a part of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, God forbid that this slime came from the same thing as the shifters. I don't know how far off base that is, but it's a theory.
Yeah. So there are four main things happening on the continent that you guys be aware of. There is the shapeshifter issue, which Vels and Khaligrim would have first-hand experience with. Wisp would have first-hand experience with as far as time spent in Hofstad. There's the undead issue in Sedund that you guys would be familiar with, attacks on Sedund itself. A Warforged like construct that has been seen carrying bodies. Again, Clover, you'd be familiar with that piece of it.
I saw that.
Stone Guardians. It's known that Stone Guardians are on the island that are here to seemingly protect certain places. And I think you all would be aware of at least a piece of that, except for you, Clover. You haven't run into one in particular, but you would be aware of the reports, at least. And then the Fatal Wild Gateways. And then obviously the 1,000 gold bounty that is on Val, the half-elf that committed the murders in Hofstad. Those are the 5 main things that are happening on the continent right now.
Who's down to track down a murderer?
So, idea, what if we just ignore everything that we've got on our plate right now and go track down a murderer? Kidding.
Yep. I think Wisp was going to take a moment to like write all this down, just so that way we have to be like, okay, these are the things that are going on. This is what we can focus on. And
Yeah.
Yeah, the shifters piece of it, you guys would all be aware is kind of on hold. Obviously, there is a member of that group in the woods northeast of Whitmore. But you guys would be aware of that Hovestad and Senate Hall in general is trying to set up an opportunity to parlay and find out what they're here for, and you know, communicate in some fashion to appease them, get on the same page, kind of thing.
I've seen John Carpenter's The Thing too many times, and I'm dreading that's what the slime is.
So yes, the slime, yes, that is a wonderful theory. It could be associated. Yes, you are completely within reason to think that way. But again, the internal reports is just what the Adventurers Guild is aware of.
Okay.
So obviously, the two pieces that you guys picked up today is outside of the bounds of Adventurers Guild. So you could connect back with the Adventurers Guild to report in, make it official of what you guys are going to do, or you can just do it. As of right now, they have sent you guys off to investigate the Feywild closure. So you're kind of at the ready to do whatever you guys feel is important. You're just not going to get paid for it, as long as you don't report in. You know.
I think we should report the slime. Because, well, yes, we have found it here. We don't know that this is the only place where it could be. So I just think maybe not somebody run back, but we should, like, send a message or something to the Adventurers Guild and just be like, hey, this is something that people should be aware of.
Yeah, I was thinking about sending back a messenger bird or something like that with a letter.
Yeah. And then other than that, see about getting in touch with Swamp. Maybe not even having them come along with us, but just enough that like we can go back and forth and talk about, hey, what do you know? Is there any information that you could inform us about this sort of thing?
Okay. All right. So what is the initial intention here? You guys are meeting up in the morning, talking about initial plans for the future. So what is the initial step here? You send a message and then head in a direction, or do you head towards a civilization to send that message and then move forward from there?
Fine.
I would probably just
Okay.
send a message back instead of having to search for
a
larger city.
because
I have a spell somewhere. I can't remember what it is though.
I'm willing to do whatever. Just I feel like since we're here, we might as well go investigate the slime.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
only an hour
Yeah.
away, so makes sense.
So yeah, you
Exactly,
could
yeah.
travel. You could send that message to Pumpkin Town. You could send Jabble to send that message. But yes, you could also send an animal messenger to do such things as well. The other, the other conversation, I guess, is where does Jabble fit in? Is Jabble going to be traveling with you, or are you separating from Jabble here? And I believe that is mostly a Wisp call because you're doing something different than Feywild stuff.
As much as she enjoys having him around for conversation, I think that he probably wouldn't fit in with the next steps, especially if we're not heading to my home.
Okay.
If he wants to take a message back to Hovestad, he can. But if he doesn't want to, then he can go off and do Jabble things. And I'll send a bird.
All right. So you would separate from Jabble here.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, seems like we've got a plan for the next session, and we completed this session, so we can go ahead and end here. Clover, feel free to level up.
Oh,
You are now level 5 on par with everybody else. For now. But okay. Everyone who tuned into the stream, thank you so much for tuning in. And again, you can find out more information about what we're doing at agentsofbeard.com. Links in the descriptions of the podcast or the streams that you're watching. But yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Later.